Awesome. Awesome. Hey guys, how you doing? Awesome. You guys can hear me okay? Yeah, I'm doing good. Awesome. Legendary. Okay. We got a few minutes. I just wanted to get set up. Cool. How's your first day of online uni going? Having fun not going to any classes? Yes, selection notes will go on Blackboard. I should have done that already. I'm going to make a note to myself. Did the 1003 lecture go well? Brenton seemed pretty happy about it. Yeah, if you invite me to your server, I'll join it. Quality should be as high, should be 1080p, as long as I'm not choked for uploads. That looks okay. No drop frames. It should be outputting 1080. I'm recording on a 4K monitor, but I'm only outputting 1080. I hope that that's coming through well for you. Oh, awesome. Good. My internet is not great, so. Libraries are still open at uni at this stage. They shouldn't be, but they are. Everything is greater than New South Wales internet. Pigeons carrying notes is faster. Noah, what project are you doing? There's a Discord for some. Yes, Rig 800s. I used to have 500s, but my rabbits kept chewing through the cables to them, so I got the wireless version. Wait, are you saying I hit 300 subscribers, or you're asking me to do something when I hit 300 subscribers? Road to 1K, yeah, nice. My GPU, I have a 1080. I bought them basically the day they came out because I bought a VR system. No Discord for the D-cells yet. Don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. Yes, I have rabbits. I can show you at the end if you would like. I'm not on Twitch. I'll go and get the rabbits at the end. I'm at home. If I get 300 people to watch my damn lecture, I'll go and get the rabbits, and I will show you. How many we got? 130. Okay. Face reveal. Yes, you'll get a Discord for the sandbox. I don't have a Twitter. Oh, it's also 4:05. Okay, so I'm going to start. We're having our first live stream now, as most of you have already figured out, I assume. I can see your chat window. It's on my second screen on my laptop. I'll be doing my best to monitor that because the whole point of me having live streams with you is so that we can do a bit of back and forth. So to start with, welcome to the internet. There are going to be some changes now that we are going online, and a few things that I want you to be aware of from the start. First one is that a few things are going to get a little bit trickier. It is harder to learn content through a video than it is to learn it through a face-to-face lecture. The reason that I have face-to-face lectures still is because it's better than videos. If videos were just as good, I would have made them once 4 years ago and not been as stressed. So you'll have to put a little bit more effort into staying focused, into not getting distracted, stuff like that. It's really easy to start slipping, build some good habits now. The other one, don't feed the trolls. There's going to be trolls. If you don't know what a troll is, it's somebody who's going to get in and deliberately be provocative on the internet to score points by making people angry. It happens. Don't feed the trolls. Just ignore them and they will get bored and they will leave, as I will be ignoring them. Okay? It's bound to happen when you're online. It's not the type of thing that you try to stop happening. It's just the type of thing that you don't stress about when it does. Just so you all know, because this is a replacement lecture, the things that you do in this lecture, you're still bound by the university's policies around the way in which you should behave, whatever those words are. So you can have disciplinary action taken against you in these types of environments. I don't expect any of you to do anything that stupid, but you can. All right. So I think a lot of you have figured this out already, but the whole point of doing this as a live stream instead of as a video is that this isn't polished content. This is content I'm chucking up so that we can do back and forth. There's a chat. It seems to be working pretty well. Will we get marked down for incorrect file naming on the assessment 2 submission? Yes, you already have been. It was marked by a script at exactly 3 o'clock, and a whole bunch of marks have already been deducted from people. Same if you upload it as a PDF or anything like that. Yay, see? Chat's great. I'll try and keep up with it. If you guys start talking a little bit too quickly, I'll begin to struggle to see it all, so maybe post your question again if I miss it, okay? I've never done this before, so I'm trying to keep up. Yes, this is Harvard University. It's not. Number one, communication is going to be our most important thing for the rest of this semester because it just got a whole lot harder, right? A lot of your people will be using Zoom. I'll be predominantly using Discord and YouTube. Again, I'm not great at them. I'm learning. Bear with me wherever possible. Some of you already have access to the Discord, so if you're part of robot project, software project, mechanical, aero, and I think medical, I think you're all live on Discord and you all should have gotten in by now. You'll need to be using it this week. If you've never used it before, it's super self-explanatory. Just go in, follow the bouncing ball. You don't even need to install a program. It'll run in an app. I have it open. Discord's a great way to communicate, all right? So what it's really good for, I'm in my robot Discord channel at the moment. You all have a link to this. You jump in. Oh, somebody's hosting my live stream. Cool. And you can post and you can communicate, all right? So there's one per project. Well, not every project gets one, but when they do a lot of them, are one per project. You'll then have your own workshops, and in your own workshops, you'll have your own group. So everybody gets a text chat and a voice chat. The great advantage here is for me, I can then sit there and jump in and talk to group 1, then group 2, then group 3, then group 4. And that's so much better than Zoom in that scenario, okay? So, yeah, you jump on, start using the Discord. A whole bunch of you are already using it, and it seems to be working remarkably well, way better than I expected it to, so make full use of that. After the live stream ends, will the video still be put up later? Yes, I will record it, and yes, I will upload it. Help us wherever you can. A lot of you are better at this than I am, so if you can meet me in the middle, if you can help me, even though I'm probably not doing this in the optimum way, help us out so that we can have a successful semester. Please don't try to undermine us. We're fighting enough battles at the moment. It's not an elect Discord, it's a robot Discord, and you should have been sent a link to it by me in an email already. We're going to try and run all of the workshops this week. So every single workshop that's scheduled will be running this week, so that we can try and work out as many of the kinks that we're going to hit as possible and get you guys up and running as quickly as possible. A bunch of lecture content every week. I'll make it over the weekend and I'll upload it. So if it's a big content dump, I'll make it into a video and I'll upload it. If it's something that I want to be able to talk to you about, that's what will go in the live stream. Okay, so you'll get both now every week. More content for you. Emails and Blackboard are still things. You are going to get spammed with information over the next little while, okay, until we can get this stuff figured out. Please try and stay on top of it. Check your emails a couple times a day. I know you don't have anything else to do. You're in quarantine. Great question. Do I want people who already have a Discord to change their nickname? If you've already got a Discord, probably make a new account. That's what I did, and it was really clean and really easy. Please don't use your gamer stuff. Most people have signed up with their gamer stuff. It's going to make it really hard for me to remember who you are, right? Chemical renewable one, considering that's like the 3rd or 4th time I've been asked that question, all right, I'll make you a Discord as well. Oh, somebody was given the wrong link. Oh, okay, if you've got the wrong link to the Discord, any of you should be able to forward those links on to other people. So if you know somebody who you want to add to the Discord, just send them the link I sent you and you should be fine. The workshops this week are all online, okay? So every one of them will still run. It will run in its normal time slot. You just won't come to campus, okay? So they're still happening. They're just going to happen by distance. We're going to try and run literally every single one of them. The wheels are probably going to fall off from time to time, but we're going to give it a crack and see what we can sort out, okay? Some of the content that we deliver might be a little bit less this week, just so we can get it out. Most of your projects are currently being rewritten because I understand that a whole bunch of you are constrained by the fact that you don't have access to a huge workshop anymore, which is perfectly fine. So they'll get rewritten and they'll basically all be phrased to say, get the optimum solution you can with the resources that you have. That means you're going to have to spend a little bit more time scoping out your problem and going, what do I actually have available that I can make this thing out of? And then if you do a great job with what you have, even though it won't perform as well as what maybe somebody else does, if that's still considered an optimum solution, you'll still get maximum marks. So some of you might end up building something out of toothpicks and empty toilet paper rolls, and that's fine if that's all you have access to. Just to give you some context, I know for a fact that the civil water tower project can be, and this thing holds 50 kilos up and is 1.25 meters tall. It's the biggest project we do in this course, and it can be built with cardboard tubes and fishing line. So it's definitely possible to still do your projects, even if you get put in basically in lockdown. All right. You also might be able to just go and get yourself some tools. That might be the best solution that you can see, is to just go, hey, I'm an engineer. I should own a toolkit anyway. I'm going to go out and spend 20, 30, 40, $100, $200. Just buy some tools so you've got them and you own them. And hey, great. Now 1,500 is easier for you, but you've still got a toolkit, which you should have as an engineer regardless. Try to meet with your team for this workshop. I know that it's online, but it would be preferable if every one of you could get together in the same spot, and then you could have one laptop that you open up and you do your communication that way. The reason I want you to still get together instead of all zooming in from different locations is because it's better for you. It really is. You'll be so much faster at doing your projects if you're all together in the same room. It's also easy for us and for your tutors to communicate with you because you don't have 35 people trying to talk to you at once. You've got, this is my admin boss. We've only got 6 people trying to talk to us. It becomes way more manageable. So it'll be better for us, but it'll be way better for you. A couple questions in the chat. When do we find out our weekly milestones? There's a slide about that coming in about 2 seconds. And is the workshop off limits? Basically, yes. So I'm imagining you're talking about ES126, but yeah, it's pretty much off limits. Anywhere you need to have a group meeting, again. So what we've been asked to do from the university is to do our best to depopulate the campus. The logic here is that if we can get non-essential staff off, they don't have to shut this campus for the essential staff who need to come in and do things like feed animals and stuff like that are locked in cages and will die if they don't. So we want to keep you as far away from the campus as we possibly can. That being said, it's not in full lockdown, so I know that the libraries are still open. I don't agree with that personally, but I know that they are. So anything else in the chat? How do we know when in the workshop time our team can talk to our workshop leader? Yeah, good question. If you're in something like the Discord, they'll be able to jump around all over the place. If you're not, and you've got a project that's more doing Zoom calls or something, you'll be sent an exact time to talk to them. Okay, so your team will get a particular 5 or 10 minute window, probably in the first hour of your workshop, in order to talk to your tutor, and it'll just be your team. And then probably in the second hour of the workshop, it'll be a bit of a free-for-all, who needs help type thing. That's what we're going to trial. I have no idea how successful it'll be. We'll see how we go. Was I serious about the uni being a test ground? I don't know who I said this to. I know that the university has the facilities to do testing for coronavirus, and I know some people who are probably going to get reissued a job description in order to help out. I didn't think I told you that though, but anyway. All right. Make sure you have a comms person, okay? So every team needs to nominate themselves one comms person to be the person who contacts the workshop leader, okay? Just again, to make it nice and clean. So make sure by your workshop time, you figure out who that's going to be. I've sort of covered this already. What happens if Bunnings closes down? You will still be able to do your projects, okay? You will, it'll be fine. But we'll be constantly bringing out fresh information for you every time we have another thing like this happens. You'll get another brain dump from me about the new project briefs. How do... Okay. Cool. Any other questions on that type of stuff yet? There's going to be another opportunity for you to ask questions at the end, but if anybody wants to chuck a question at me now around workshops or anything like that, something I didn't really cover was project testing will change a little bit. So instead of us doing testing on test day, we'll actually be sending you a testing procedure and getting you to film or video stream that to us. So that procedure will change a little bit. Dylan, is there any serious disadvantage if your workshop has only 3 team members? No, it's actually an advantage. 3 is the optimum. If I could, I'd put everybody in a team of 3. The problem is if I put you in a team of 3 and one person drops, you become a team of 2, and that's a little bit dangerous. So 3 is actually the best number to be in. There is a Red Bull Discord. It's not live yet. No need to come into workshops. Don't come to campus. Talk to your team. Figure out where else you would meet. No idea what's happening with the Lockheed Martin Altitude Accord Scholarship. That's going to be based on if the government closes stuff down. The money's there. It's just more of a, is there going to be a travel ban? Do we have to do all the OH&S stuff when we are meeting off campus? What specifically do you mean by that? You should be safe, and it's really important if you are meeting up off campus to make sure that you're being as safe as possible, okay? If the government bans non-essential travel, that is something that we're going to have to do another project rewrite for. Are you expected to have anything prepared for the 5-minute Zoom sessions? So we're going to talk about milestones somewhere. Oh, it's not for a little bit longer. I don't remember where it is now. And yes, you will in the future, but you won't for week 5. Okay, but from week 5 to 6, yes, you'll have to have stuff prepared. Discord for the Enviros exists. I don't know if I've sent you the link yet. If the uni closes and people get sent back home, yeah, really good question. And a bunch of people already have gone home. To that, honestly, my answer is I'm working on it and I don't know the answer yet. So, okay, do you need all your full-blown safety gear? You guys are going to have to take a little bit of leadership in that particular area, okay, and determine what you need to be safe. If you're just doing design work, maybe you don't need your safety gear, but if you're going to be working, please make sure you guys are safe. Oh, great question. Can you use your Discord outside of workshop time? Definitely. I'd highly encourage you to switch all communication over to the Discord as soon as you can. The only thing to remember is your workshop leaders, whilst they might be on a lot of the time, they're not being paid to help you outside of the workshop time, okay? So do not be spamming your workshop leaders or I will boot you from the Discord. If they opt to answer a question for you outside of hours, that's fine. They're allowed to do that, just like they're allowed to reply to your emails, but it doesn't give you 24/7 support, okay? So don't spam them because generally it's their personal Discords. All right. We can circle back to any of this. I want to cover off this assessment because you've got 2 assessments going out today, and I really want to cover this one because there's going to be a bunch of questions about it. So assessment 3, if you haven't looked at it already. So in assessment 2, you all wrote reports, and I said that they were for somebody from a different project to read, right? Well, assessment 3 is write a report, go and read those reports and mark them. So that's your assessment. So I hope you actually listened to me when I said other people would be reading and marking these reports. That's literally what is happening. So this assessment is going to get you to read 4 of your peers' reports, and then you're going to mark them, and on one of them, you're going to provide feedback and you're going to edit it so that you would improve it to be better. So what I'm aiming for here is for you to get to see a little bit about what all your peers decided to do for this particular project. And you should be able to understand literally anybody's report that was written, right? So it's, did they do a good job, basically? Did they hit their target audience? Because you are their target audience. The other thing that we're trying to look at is to give you a bit of scope or a bit of variety. So you had one way that you decided to write, and you're going to get to see a bunch of other people writing different styles, and you hopefully be able to go, wow, that was awesome. I'm going to steal that strategy. That worked really well. Or, oh, this did not communicate at all, and I should be really careful that I don't do that in the future. It'll also stress to you the importance of proofreading. So all of you proofread your assessment 2A, right? Your first assessment before you submit it. You're going to read all of these other people's and you're going to find errors in them everywhere. It's because proofing somebody else's work is way easier than proofing your own. So it's going to just highlight some of that importance for you and give you the ability to become a marker. And hopefully once you proofread somebody else's, you'll be better at proofing your own. Marking other people in different fields, definitely you will be. Does people marking our reports affect the mark we get on our reports? Not really, but kind of. Generally, I would say no. I don't take the marks other people give you because sometimes markers are horrible. Students are horrible markers. You guys are so mean. The only time where I'd use that is if I was conflicted, I'd consult what other people gave you as a mark. But no, it won't override. All right. So the other thing, major learning goal of this report. If you remember in your week 4 lecture, I gave you a whole bunch of information on do's and don'ts of report writing, yeah? And that went for, I don't know, an hour and a bit. In week 6, you're going to get 2 solid hours of that. And it's a huge hit of information. And a lot of the time when you teach it to people, they then go and try to use it to write a report and they forget a lot of it. Part of the reason is if you're worried about both trying to understand the content that you need to write about and try to learn how to do report writing really well at the same time, that's really tricky. So what I get you to do is learn a whole bunch of report writing techniques and then go and apply them as a marker. And that cements all of those rules in your brain without distracting you by all the content. That's the logic, okay? So I'm deliberately getting you to do this at a time where hopefully it helps you learn better. So from week 4 and from week 6 is where most of this information will come from. Really important that you read all of these reports before the week 6 lecture content, okay? Because if you haven't done this reading and seen the mistakes that people make, the things that I tell you in week 6, they won't have any context. You won't understand them and you'll forget them. Whereas if you have started to read them, you'll be able to go, you'll see something, you go, that looks crap, but I don't know why. And then I'll show you how to do it properly and you'll remember it way better, okay? It'll also give you a bit of what we call marker empathy, and that will go a long way to helping you in the future. Cool, we covered that. So, there's a full-blown video on this and how to do it, by the way, which you could have already watched. So, yeah. It's up, it's on Blackboard, go and read it. But here's what you need to do. You need to go to Blackboard, and you need to get the report spreadsheet. So I'm going to go to Blackboard. Yeah. Blackboard. Okay. Go to Blackboard. Go to Assessment. Go to Assessment 3. There's the video. There's the description. There's where you submit it. There's a different title page for this report as there was the last one. And here's the report spreadsheet. It'll download and it'll be a text file, but you can also open it in Excel. Come on. There we go. You can also open this in Excel. So what you need to do is go and find yourself in this left-hand column. So scroll down, wherever you are, find your... And then you've got this row is all for you, okay? So what you get is 4 reports. One is the one to proofread and mark, and then you need 3 others that you just are marking, okay? So you do that, and that should get you out of trouble and you should be fine. What all of these other ones are for is invariably some people will not submit, or you'll get some RNG luck and you'll actually get 2 of the same report in a row, or some person gets themselves within here. If anything like that happens, just ignore whatever one it is that's corrupt or wrong or whatever, and just slide all the numbers to the left. Okay, so you got a whole bunch of spares here, basically, for you to go through. You do not submit a hard copy of your report this week. Your soft copy is fine. Sorry, that was a chat question. All right, so you need to get those student numbers of the ones that you need to mark. Then you'll need to go to Blackboard and you'll need to get this zip file. Now, the zip file is not actually on Blackboard because it's a gig and it didn't upload before this lecture started. So between 3 and 4 o'clock, it didn't upload. It took that long. This is one of the reasons why you had to submit on time, by the way, because at exactly 3 o'clock, I downloaded all of the reports and I uploaded them all here. But the upload's still going. It'll get finished at about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, I'd say. So you'll get this reports folder as a zip. If you open it up, there is every report that was submitted. So you need to search through that and get the correct student number, which is why student numbers were important in the report, and then open them up and mark them. I would suggest unzipping this first. So right click, extract all. It makes the search function work better, I've found. But yeah, so extract them, get your 10 documents out of there that you need, and then you may as well delete it because it is a gig in size, and that's really annoying to have in your downloads. Cool. All right, your first thing to do then is take the 4 and read them all. You don't do anything else. You don't have to mark them. You don't have to do anything else. You just need to read all 4 of them first and then put them in order. Whatever you thought was the best, second best, third best, and fourth best. Then after, and only after you've done that, make yourself a marking rubric. And this is all detailed in this document. Yeah, not that one. That one. Tells you how to do all of that in here. Go in, make yourself a marking rubric. Mark them all and give me your rubric and a bit of an explanation if that's required for everything, every one of the 4 reports. And then come back up here and fill out this little table, okay? Invariably, not invariably, a lot of the time you'll realize that your rubric, the one that you said was best, doesn't actually score the highest on your rubric. And if that happens, I want to see an explanation of whether you thought your rubric was fair, okay? Because I would say almost none of them will be. So that's super important. That can you look back on this and determine whether it was fair and adequate and good or not. Cool. Awesome. Then you need to proofread and edit one report. So you'll get one document. Such an idiot. And what you need to do is get this document and come up to review and turn on track changes. What that does is means when you type on top of something, it shows what was there and it shows the changes that you made. You do this to the report to improve it, and this is what I'm marking, okay? So I'm marking the changes that you make. In order for you to get these marks, it must be track changes in Word. That's why you had to upload a Word document, all right? There's no other form of this will be accepted. If you use anything else, you will immediately get 0. So do that. Can we decide which out of the 4 to review? Please don't. Please just start on the left and work your way through, okay? It's just, if you do that. Again, if there are ones in there that don't make any sense for whatever reason, then yes, just pick another one. Now, there should be a point in here. Oh, yeah, cool. Yes, you get some RNG fun here with random numbers that won't work well. That's why you're getting 10. Can we use comments or just track changes? Both. All right. So I expect you to use comments, and I'll flick back to it because it's a good question. I've tried to highlight the correct use actually in this document. Where it's a little typo, that should be a track change. Where it's something like here, where I've gone, this is a crappy paragraph and it should have been a list, that's where you should use a comment. Okay, so I'm actually expecting to see both comments and track changes. There's effectively 5 marks for doing this, and 2.5 of them are for how good your comments are, and 2.5 of how good your track changes are. Good question. The zip file will be on Blackboard under Assessment 3 once it goes up. You'll find it right next to the spreadsheet. Okay, if you don't, out of your 4, get any one report from your own discipline, if they're all from different disciplines, just go back through the big document, the big file again, and grab one from your own discipline. I want you to read somebody else from your discipline, as well as at least 2 people from other disciplines. Okay, it really changes how your marking works. Yeah. So you don't have to scroll through the entire thing. You should be able to search within the file, within the folder, to find particular student numbers, and they should come up. Make sure you have, if you can't find them though, make sure you do a manual search before you email me and tell me that, no, nobody in my project, none of my 10 have submitted, because there's about a 1 in a 250 million chance that no one of those 10 submitted. So just check. I get a couple really aggressive emails every year from people saying that. It's not great. You can do Control F if you're in Excel, which, where's Excel? There it is. So bad at this. In here, Control F will bring up a window, and you can put a student number in. This is my student number, like it's not going to come up. Make sure you put the C in front of it. If you're in Explorer, you should be able to just search up here in the top right, and it should find it. But if it doesn't, sometimes you need the C, sometimes you don't. It's super annoying. But if you can't find it, you should be able to stack by name, and because the student number's in the name, it should tell you what they all are. Sorry, grab another file from your discipline. Grab that from the zip folder, because if you open this up, it should tell you what project they all are, right? Because otherwise you're just guessing randomly and you don't know from the... You can also do Control F. Really? Huh. I never knew that. Cool. It tells you what project they are. Okay, another reason why it was super important to name them using the correct file format to help people. So how could somebody from, say, environmental engineering marks someone from medical? Well, the entire point of this assignment was to bring somebody from a different discipline up to speed. So if you don't understand the things that they're writing, then they did poorly, and you should mark them accordingly. You shouldn't understand. That was their job, right? So you should be able to mark that quite happily. You will find that people are much more aggressive on their own project than they are on others, but you should be fine regardless. Anything else? We're doing okay? Cool. All right, progress report is your next assessment after that. So I'll roll back a little bit. Assessment 3 is due in 2 weeks. So you have an assessment every 2 weeks for me. You had your first quiz and it was due in week 3. You had your first report due in week 5. You got that proofreading thing due in week 7. And then this assessment will be due in week 9. Why am I introducing it so early? It's because of these milestones that a few of you have asked me about. So it's a progress report. It's basically going to say, what have you been doing each week? And update me as your boss on that. Again, there's a full-blown video. Go and watch the video. But the bit that I want to highlight in here is, so this is a progress report. Tell me what you've been doing each week. By the way, project introduction, description, scope. You've done something awfully similar to that. Constraints and assumptions. That's something that you've done awfully similar to that as well. Remember how I said if you do it well the first time, it'll be easier for you the second time? Yeah. This assessment has a very, very different focus to the first one. It's all about what's your ability to write to a scope. So you get given a stupidly strict set of formatting guidelines for you to work towards. So it's like the total opposite of the last report. What's important though is down the bottom here, each week between weeks 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 7 and 8, 8 and 9, you'll be required to fill out these milestone sheets. So there's 4 of them. You need at least 1 per person. If you're a team of 3, I'll allow you to only do 3 per week, but you need at least 1 per person. You can have more than 1 per person. You can have more than 1 person assigned to each task and da-da-da-da. But you need to fill these out in week 5, and then when you come in week 6, your workshop leader, you'll hand this over to them, and they'll ask you, demonstrate to me that you've achieved these things. So you will need to prove to them on the spot that you can do it. So that's always been there. What's changing this year is that occasionally your workshop leader is going to nominate what these milestones are going to be, and you're going to be more forced to keep up with them, i.e. they will be worth a percentage of your final project mark. So if by week 9 you're expected to have a prototype completed, or by week 7 you're expected to have a design done on the table or something like that, your workshop leader might nominate that as a milestone for you to achieve, and then they might be able to give you marks for achieving it, okay? So you're going to have to do these every week, and some of them are now going to carry weight. The main reasoning behind this is that 30% marks come test day. Test day is going to be hard this year, so the more of it we can smooth out, the better, all right? That's the goal. So we're trying to help you a little bit by giving you project marks early. Yeah, so that's that. And that's it. So that's all I've got of content. And now I'm happy to you guys can bombard me with questions for as long as you want, okay? And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to answer them. I just want to check the stream quality. That's not where I checked that. Yeah. You still doing okay? Yeah, cool. Legendary, awesome. I might as well chuck that back up. Not that. All right, questions. Is 2A fully marked after assessment 3? Yeah, so you won't get your 2A assessments back until you submit your assessment 3, because otherwise it would bias you, right? What if the person that gets your report and you didn't name it correctly, then they won't get your report? It's not the end of the world. Don't lose too much sleep about it. It's not going to hurt you. It's just going to annoy the hell out of them. Yeah, it's a good question. I did say that you could do a bit of assuming that they were taking your other subjects. That's fine. And yeah, that will make it slightly harder for those particular people who read it. That's okay. Again, it's not going to hurt you massively. How will test day be done if there's a full shutdown? You will video it, and we'll probably live stream you testing via video, and we will send you a very rigorous testing procedure to follow. Are we starting the milestones this week? Yeah. So you will write your milestones in week 5 that you'll have completed by week 6. How many marks do you lose for incorrectly naming your submission? Half, I believe. I think it's half a mark. I think it's half a mark for that. I think it's half a mark for being late. No, it'll be a full mark for being late and half a mark for getting the other bits wrong. Would have been half a mark for not having a staple and all that kind of junk as well. But will you still have access to the car for Red Bull? Possibly. The Red Bull project's gonna need a lot of work, and I'll keep you updated. My rabbit's names are Artemis and Grace, and I'll go get Artie because Artie's more friendly. MIA team members is always really tricky. It's going to be even trickier this year. Normally, we would use the fact that have they been present in class. We'll basically use the fact that have they been present in the online sessions. But what you can do is, if you've got somebody in your team who's questionable, make sure you give them a task each week and make sure their name gets written on it. And then we'll be able to track they failed to produce, they failed to produce, they failed to produce, okay? Don't give them critical tasks, just give them something to do, and we'll be able to track that. How do you get feedback that is written about your report? Great question. Probably through a ridiculously extensive video by me going through and I'd say marking some people live for you to give you feedback, but I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm working on the answer to it. Okay. I said that you shouldn't use text boxes. How would you include code or pseudocode? I apologize. That was poor communication by me. Code and pseudocode acceptable in a text box. What I meant was don't caption your figures with text boxes and things like that. Where is the milestones document? It's attached to the assessment 4 document. So if you go into Blackboard, you go to hold on. Let's do it the smart way. Blackboard, assessments, assessment 4. Pick the one for your particular project. Obviously, download it. Don't look at this, but there you go, down the bottom. Okay? So you'll be able to get them from there. Is there a rubric for the milestone tasks, or will there be an assumed unspoken standard as we go? So you will largely set your own milestones, and a lot of the time you'll get them wrong, and we'll kind of let you get them wrong at the first bit, and a lot of you will set ones that are way too big or way too small, and we'll kind of let you figure that out as you go. But for the ones that we're marking, they will have, you need to be able to put, we call it a deliverable, a thing to put on the table to prove that you did it. But consider this to be you reporting to your boss, basically. So impress them. How important must the task be to be a milestone? Great question, and that's largely going to be up to you. It's really interesting that a lot of the time things that you would think maybe are very trivial do become milestones. And some people prefer to not set 4, but to set 10 or 20 milestones a week, but they're really small, really manageable tasks. And other people set broader milestones once every couple of months in a project. So it depends on how you want to do it, but basically what you want to think about is between now and week 12, we need to get finished. How much do we need to do in each of the weeks? What tasks do we need to do to keep ourselves on track? And you're going to learn this as you go. I don't expect you to be perfect at it when you start. Don't stress about it. Trial by fire, yeah, you'll be fine. We'll help you and we'll let you, we're not going to come and hit you with a big stick because you set your first milestone incorrectly. It's fine. I did this last year and about 90% of people failed their milestones. But I asked them 2 weeks later, was it a valuable experience? And almost everyone said yes, and I do it. Even though you don't ask me to, we now do it every week. How will the sandbox project be presented since sandbox is inaccessible? Excellent question. working on it. If elements of the 2A assignment body weren't Times New Roman, you'll just lose half a mark. That's fine. Artemis is not a reference to No Man's Sky. It's a reference to an ancient Greek god. Goddess. Can't remember. How to meet up with my group for workshops? Don't use public transport. Yeah, good question. Do what you can, but if you are limited and you literally can't meet up, then you meet up with them online and you help them however you can. You're just going to have to do a little bit more work because you're not going to be as efficient because you're not going to physically be there. The whole 80% attendance thing is dead. Good. No, there is no way of changing the document name now. It's already done. Yes, Goddess of the Wilderness. Thank you very much. That's why. Yeah, Sandbox Project is definitely going to be difficult. You're going to get information week by week, and we're going to work it out. It's going to be okay. You're probably going to do a bit more designy work rather than testing work. It's not ideal, but it's certainly doable. Is snooping at other teams' chat in the Discord workshop allowed? Yeah. I mean, the only way I can stop you doing that is by kicking you out of it. So if you're doing it in a way that we don't like, we'll just kick you out of the Discord and ban you. But otherwise, How will your marking criteria differ from the criteria I use? Okay. So my criteria was super broad and nowhere near enough for what you're going to use here. So don't start by looking at mine. For yourself, figure out what you believe a good marking criteria would be and use that. Okay? Don't get mine and start trying to modify it. That's actually really hard. Just start again from scratch. All right, I've read these 4 reports and I have to mark them. What do I think is important? So the 4 square meter thing from the government, you want to be careful with that. That just means if you hold an indoor event, you need to allocate at least 4 square meters per person. So if 4 of you are meeting, you need to meet in a room that's got at least 16 square meters of space. So a 4x4 room, like a living room, is perfectly fine. We have done other things though. Remember, if you're part of somebody like using the Arduino or whatever, and even a lot of other projects might want to steal this idea, they nominate a single hardware person. So only one person works on the hardware and it doesn't get shared around. And everybody else does code or project management or something like that, but you don't share physical objects around. You had an extra blank white page at the end. As long as the human marks that, you'll be fine. If you lose a mark because of a totally blank white page at the end, show it to me and I'll give you that mark back. You want to turn, by the way, something that helps heaps of people in that scenario is turn your cues on to these things here. I'll open up a document that's actually got some content. Turn these things on. I have them on all the time because it shows you where things like page breaks and stuff are. And if a page break gets pushed onto a new page, what you end up with is this. And people don't understand why Word does that to them. Turn your cues on. Okay? Really helps. Don't use enters, use page breaks. Wait, so do we get marked on how well we mark someone else's report? Yes, definitely. Is there a maximum mark or do we choose? You can, I'm assuming this is about when you're talking about marking other people's reports. I need it to be out of 10 at the end. You don't have to mark it out of 10. You might just then need to scale it to be out of 10. So if you have 42 criteria you want to work for, great, go for it. Just scale them down at the end. Group members living on campus getting sent home. Yep, great question. I'll work it out on a case-by-case basis. How do you know whether to set your own milestones or follow the workshop leaders? Set your own every week, and then your workshop leaders will be additional, and they will be communicating these plans with you. For future reports, the references need to be double-spaced. Okay, so they will not be, no. So you'll be able to use 1.15 spacing for reports. Interestingly as well, though, in your future reports, your references won't be counted in your page count. They weren't this one, but they won't be again. Oh, I didn't know they called that. Cool. Thanks, Isaac. How many push-ups you can do during quarantine? You can call it a milestone if you want. If you can do 1,000 push-ups, I'll consider that a milestone. Are we mainly making structure or content for the report? Which report? You finish Assassin's Creed, clearly. I'll get Artie, I'll be back. Hey, Art. Come here. This is Art. I have a crappy mouse now. I used to have a Rat 9, which I really, really liked, but again, Artemis ate the cable, so I just bought a cheap one. Is there a word or page cap for the next one? So, I don't know if you can see it, but if you have a look, each section will actually have a maximum page limit. So you won't have an overall page limit. You'll have a whole bunch of maximums for each section. This report will actually end up being super spaced out and take heaps and heaps of pages, and that's fine. You'll end up in loads of scenarios where you'll get something like this, where you'll have to be putting in page breaks, and you'll have just a small amount of text in a page break, and that's fine. There is no total, it's individual sections. It's heaps easier to write this way. The rabbits are not free roaming. We keep them in a big cage that I made for them most of the time. We let them free roam occasionally, and I try to keep them out of my room because they love eating cables. Yeah, it's okay, buddy. I know. This is Art. Oh, you're not happy, are you, Art? It's okay. Yeah, there we go. Apparently, Art does not want to be shown to the camera. Where you going, bud? You want to sit over there? Please don't eat my. Please don't eat my mic. It's okay, buddy. Please don't type anything either. Was the reference list counted in assessment A2? Yes. I bought my rabbits to uni a couple of times. They're a little bit of a pain though because they try and eat literally everything. It's super annoying. There is no next slide. We're done. We're done. I'm only doing question and answers. This is it. The rabbits do not drink Red Bull. The only games I'm really playing at the moment are Total War, so unless you want to sit here for another 9 hours, I don't think you want to do a game stream. I do have New Doom. I'm not very good at it. Milestone document is at the end of the assessment 4 document. So go to Blackboard, Go to assessments, go to assessment 4, grab that. If online courses go well this semester, do you think we'll see a rise in them at UON? Doubt it. They're so freaking difficult. It's so much easier to teach you guys face to face. How many cans of Red Bull a day? I don't eat breakfast, so I generally drink a big can of energy drink in the morning, and then if I've got a big day, like a lecture day, I'll drink 1 or 2 small cans throughout the day. I didn't bring any Red Bull home. It's literally all at uni. Will the campus probably close? If we can do a good job of getting you all off campus, then probably not. We really don't want to have to close it, so we're really hoping that all of you can work from home and then we don't have to fully close the campus. Can Strand 7 be downloaded on a Mac? No idea. You're the worst. You should be able to get a student copy of Strand, and you should be able to use that. How do we join the workshop? What do you mean join the workshop? You mean the Discord or something else? I'm not entirely sure how you get the student copy of Strand. I know that there's a form that you need to fill out that I need to sign, but other than that, I'm not sure. You'll get instructions probably this week. Student version of Strand. 1 person minimum in your team should get it. It's $10 a month. Just get it. You gonna go, Art? See you, buddy. Go. Help sessions are a good question. I could do this again. I could do this in the morning as a help session. I don't know if that's super useful to you though. But I'm happy to run another help session at some other stage during the week if people want me to. And I'll just do this again. Maybe I'll open the Discords up as well so you can share screens. I could do that. Anything that didn't comply to the submission standard would have been half a mark. So that was file format, naming convention, anything like that. Will there be any marks lost based on bad formatting structure for 2A? There's not a whole lot of marks that can be lost. You can lose a little bit. There's like 1 mark, I think, in the marking rubric out of 10 associated to that. Unless your formatting was so bad that it confused me, though, and then I would argue that you've done a poor job communicating the information. But if it's just you set it out poorly, we can't hit you too hard for that. And that was very deliberate. We didn't want you to be focused on that at the time. Lose marks for bad citation. That depends on what you mean by bad citation. I don't have a super high expectation of your ability to do citing yet. So if you put 5 references in, if they were IEEE and you had a half decent go, I'll give you the marks for it. Okay. I'm not looking at being super critical like some people are with APA about exactly where you put all your spaces and stuff. Just insert IEEE, hit go. No, you will not lose marks for page numbers not being there. You will in the next report, I think, but you definitely won't. You definitely won't in this report. We are not looking at that type of subtlety. Yeah, well, Brenton's better at this, clearly. So in Viros, you will almost certainly be Zoom, not Discord. I might set you up a Discord as well. Actually, I think I have set you up a Discord as well, but you will almost certainly actually be a Zoom call. Because there's less of you and you have so many more tutors, you actually get a huge advantage in that we can do it with Zoom, and it's going to be way better for you. The Discord's more for the robot project, which has 152 people doing it. It's just unmanageable through that many Zoom calls. Yeah, I'll make you one for DSAL as well if you guys want it. I didn't know that people. I had no idea how well you guys would take to Discord, and it seems that you want to do it. So cool. Oh, actually, I have an idea for you. So I don't know if you know this, but Brenton's actually quite good at Doom. I'll play him if you can get me more likes and subscribes than he gets. I'll play him in Doom, and he will annihilate me. I'm assuming Doom does online. I haven't tried yet. Do you lose marks for referencing Sean Day too many times? Never. Did you have other references other than Sean? Because I wanted to see that you could do more than one type of reference, but no, you could have referenced Sean 4 times and that would have been perfectly fine. All right, well, bet for the end of semester. We can do this as a week 12 lecture. Me and Brenton will play some games. I'm assuming he'll agree to this. And then maybe Raid Shadow Legends will sponsor me. One sent it around already? Sweet. So Sandbox, you should have a link to the Discord then. Road to 1 mil subs, yeah. Right. No raid? No raid. Never raid Shadow Legends. Are you expected to use the individual's title in a reference? Generally, no. Some referencing styles use it, but almost never. It's not going to be NordVPN. My favorite game is probably, of all time, Age of Empires 2. I used to play a lot of StarCraft, but I'm no good at it anymore, so I don't. And at the moment, I play heaps of Total War, Warhammer. Haven't played Warzone. Definitely Doom, the first one, not Eternal. Not the first one, sorry, Doom 2016 or whatever it was. Oh well. So, are we tuning into workshops this week? Yes, you will have something run in your workshop this week in its regular scheduled 2-hour time. So with Civil, yeah. So you'll definitely jump on the Discord. You might also get a Zoom call. That just depends on how it's going. Basically, how the Discord's going. Yeah. Excellent. I'm glad you like the live stream. If anybody thinks of anything that I should be doing differently or better or whatever, more than happy, flick me an email. I'll try to get better at this. My guess is Simon is going to use Zoom, and that's what the uni wants us to do. So I'd say that D-Cell workshop, Simon will use Zoom. The Discord, Simon may never opt to go. I will not tell my tutors, workshop leaders, what platform they have to use. That's entirely their decision. If they're more comfortable using Zoom, which everybody at our university is supposed to be comfortable using Zoom, that's what they'll use, okay? But I'll chuck you a Discord up so it can sit there in the background and you can post memes and stuff. But it may not be the way your workshops are delivered to you. You able to enter ES126? No. Not unless something changes. I used to play a lot of Dota, so no, I don't like LoL. What is BFC? I'm so confused. Ah, okay. Now I understand. So, how many people am I talking to? Yeah. Okay, lots of you are still here. Awesome. Cool. When can you expect updated project briefs? I'm going to say end of week 6, which is quite a way. And I probably should have addressed this earlier, actually. This is a good question. Your updated project briefs, what I don't want to do is put one out now in a bit of a rush and then put another one out by the end of the week and then another one out the week after that as things constantly change. So what I'm basically going to do is wait for a little while, let some things settle down, figure out the answers to a few questions that we still need to figure out, and then give you a new brief that hopefully can stay with you for the rest of the semester. None of your projects are going to change so substantially that the brief that you currently have won't be adequate, okay? You should be doing design thinking stuff so broadly right now that the actual details of test day shouldn't really be a big deal for you. So work with the briefs that you currently have. By the way, does everybody know that there's a video that you need to watch by your workshop this week? The design thinking video? I'm sure I spammed you with this, but I don't know if you've really registered. It's in here somewhere. This video here, design thinking example, you have to watch that before your workshop. It's only 20 minutes long. It's not hard, but please watch it before your workshop. This whole Corona thing is literally going to be over in a month. All right, then. That's good. What time will the videos and live lectures stay? Around 2 hours. I'm going to be basically taking... okay, no, that was going to be wrong. You've got a big lecture for week 6, almost no lecture for week 7. The only reason I'd hold a week 7 lecture is basically to do anything I didn't get through in week 6. You've got a big lecture in week 8, and then it's guest lectures. So it's really sporadic from here anyway. So holding to 2 hours isn't something I'm going to aim to do. I'm just going to aim to get the content across to you. So week 6, you might end up with more than 2 hours worth of videos, but probably not much more than 2 hours worth of videos, and a live stream because I'm guaranteeing heaps of questions. After that, it might be substantially less. But as far as I'm concerned, I have this 2-hour slot, so I'll sit here for 2 hours every week if people keep logging in and asking me questions. But yeah, there definitely will be 2 hours worth of content for week 6, and other than that, there probably won't ever be again. COVID, however you say it, is expected to peak in mid-April, mid-August, sorry, was the last numbers that I heard. Which is actually a good thing that it's late, because that means we are successfully flattening the curve, but, you know, we'll see. Will I upload this lecture on YouTube? Yes, definitely. Assuming I can do it successfully, because I'm not very good at this yet. Okay, when adding up the cost for a project, will we need to include a skill like welding? Considering you're not allowed to have any welded part on any structure, I'd say you don't want to do that anyway. But if you are doing something and it requires a particular skill that you would have to pay for, yeah, we'd expect you to budget that. You don't have to spend the money if you know a guy who knows how to do it. Then get you something off the back of the truck, whatever, that's fine. You can do that in your project, but we will ask you to budget for it. And we'll ask you for 3 numbers actually. What did it cost you to build this one? What would it cost you to build another one, knowing all the things that you know? And what would it cost you to build 1,000 of them? And that's where you'll get to benefit from things like economies of scale, and yeah, you'd get a laborer in for a day who would weld all these things for you, stuff like that. So you'll get the opportunity to discuss that. Yeah, Brenton. They were talking about things to do at certain subscriber hits and stuff like that, and I realized that you were playing. You'd been doing some Doom, and I realized that that could be a fun thing, and you're going to smash me because I got killed in the 2nd level of Doom twice last night. So. So the videos that I uploaded are not covering this content. The week 5 lecture content wasn't this video. The week 5 lecture content's up. It's about teamwork, and it's about how to be good at assessments in general in your life. You should have watched them, and then you come here and you ask me questions about them. I understand that for a lot of you that was tricky this week because this was all very, very new. But yeah, so go and watch those videos. It's a 140-minute video and 130-minute video, I think. And then in the future, try and watch them before this session so you can ask questions. Thanks, man. I'm not doing a house tour. My idea is that content that I've got that comes out as a big hit of nice, polished content goes into the video. It's this sort of messy question-answer stuff that goes into the stream. I will not be getting you daily content. It takes way too long to film. My PC, I custom built it. I don't remember most of the things that are in it. I rebuilt just around the time that DDR5 RAM become kind of common. and it was when I got my VR set up. So I rebuilt with DDR5 RAM, a new i5 chip, and a 1080 when they came out. I've got a 32-inch curved Samsung monitor. Greatest thing I ever bought. I love that thing. It is amazing. And then somebody asked me this ages ago, and I should have said yes to it. Yes, clicky keyboard, Razer keyboard, and a fairly cheap mouse because my rabbits keep wrecking my other ones. And Rig 800s. I do not play chess. So for the sandbox people, are we expected to just kind of start building the crossing ASAP via our own research for materials? You definitely don't want to be building anything yet. Yes, I do mean DDR4, sorry. You definitely don't want to be building anything yet. You want to be thinking really broadly, really laterally. You're still going to get given content. For the next probably 2 or 3 weeks, we're actually going to deliver content into the sandbox project for longer than most other people. And then you'll kind of report back on that content. So you'll do a little bit less building and a little bit more devouring of content and then discussing and designing based upon that. Okay? I played League. I originally was a winger when I started playing League, and I eventually bulked up a bit and started playing front row. And they were the 2 positions I played most, either wing or front row, which I understand is a peculiar set of positions, but that's what I used to get picked for. So for your sandbox stuff, basically chill about your design and build. So we're going to get you to the break predominantly by giving you more content. You're not going to start building anything. I do want you to start thinking about all the different possible ways in which you could solve the problem, but you're not actually going to start building anything for a little bit longer. So we'll get you to the break first. And then through the break, we're probably going to rewrite your project a bit and give you, okay, this is what you're doing between the break and test day. So basically, don't stress it. It's coming. Just keep devouring the content that we give you in the workshops each week. In the same game, are you talking lead, playing those 2 positions? Yeah, so I used to actually be our first change forward. I used to start on the wing and then change into the forwards. I'm sorry, I forgot to take a break this week. I entirely apologise. I used to play for my local club. My 100M? I don't understand. Okay, still 100 of you here. Cool. I'm not sure why. I don't think I've said very many useful things to you. I don't know what my best 100-meter time was. Can we watch some videos on YouTube now? You may. I can't stop you doing this. There is... Go nuts. How was the stream for you? So somebody's commenting that our MBN's not great. I actually haven't had a good look at this. Did I drop? Okay, I only dropped 0.3% of my frames in the entire stream. That's pretty good. Cool. I'm not going to play games on the stream today. I'll do it later. If you do have dodgy internet, this will go up as a video. I might hack this last, like, I don't know, 45 minutes off where we haven't said very many useful things, but... Unsubbing. Did I upset you? Okay, does anyone have any questions that they actually want answered about the course? Or can I kill this thing so that it doesn't end up being a 2-hour video with 20 minutes of useful content in it? We good? Alright. There is no fans only link. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna kill it. Thank you very much. You guys were great. This worked so well. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with how well you all interacted. This went as well as I possibly could have imagined. So, thank you. See yous.